got peace of mind, I'm glowing inside. Oh, blue skies above. Oh, nature's in love. Rolling along, troubles are gone. Whole world's a sea for you and me. Oh, holiday, how good it feels to rolling on wheels. How good it feels to rolling on wheels. My heart's on fire, such a desire burning inside of me. This world is mine, treasures I'll find. Blue skies above, nature's in love. Ha! Blue skies above, nature's in love.
Hi, I'm Gordon MacRae, and I'm here in the Florida Keys ready to do some tarpon fishing. You know, if I had a chance of singing, acting, or going fishing for a living, well, it'd be a tough decision, because I love all three. And they tell me that the tarpon fishing right here in these Keys is about the greatest in the world. But it's only part of a terrific holiday on wheels through the southern part of this great sunshine state, Florida. It's really geared for those who enjoy the world of recreational vehicle living. You can experience underwater thrills in the coral reefs, search for sunken treasure on a Spanish galleon, or you can explore the mysterious and beautiful Everglades right in the heart of alligator country. And then, on the Gulf Coast, you can dig for shells, you can dive for sponges, and then head for Cypress Gardens, where the water performers, stuntmen, and hang gliders go through some daring routines. And for some expert advice along the way, let's go to our good friend Art Rouse, editor and publisher of Trailer Life's family of magazines.
Well, Gordy, this should be a super RV trip, all the way from the Florida Keys to the Botanical Kingdom at Cypress Gardens. We'll be using a GMC Palm Beach motorhome. The roads are excellent and well-traveled in this area, so we shouldn't have any gas or water problems. And there are plenty of excellent KOAs all along the route.
Now, remember those tarpon I told you about earlier? Well, they're out there just waiting to do battle with some eager fisherman. Me.
The Overseas Highway, which links the Florida Keys together, is a spectacular way to start a super holiday. Would you believe that an entire island is occupied by one campground? Well, that's the way it is at Fiesta Key, our first stopping place right on the ocean front. How's that for a typical Florida welcome? A snowy white egret with its long legs, broad wings, and S-shaped neck says hello to my good friends Betty and Frank Cly, who are joining us on this trip. They're retired now, but like that egret, they know the territory and should be great in helping us find exciting things to do. Catching a big one of those silver kings, as the tarpons are called, yeah, brother, that's what I'm after. And we ain't gonna waste much time either, because Frank has already lined up a guide for our fishing boat. And several other boats, including two of them for Betty and our camera crews. There he is, our first Silver King. Tarpons are not afraid to show their face. They're big, deep water fish, weighing between 50 and 350 pounds. Frequently, you can see them break water and gulp air. Sometimes you can wait for hours. But I've got one on the line right now. And all I have to do is hold onto him. And, brother, it's not easy. Silver King is big and fast, so you have to pull up the slack whenever you can. And he'll also try to outsmart you. In this case, he's heading for the concrete archway of the Overseas Highway, hoping to either lose me or even break the line when it rubs along the sharp concrete edge. But our guide backtracks right after him. Seems to be tiring now, but with the tarpon, you never know. Even when you think you have him, he still has some fight left. I want to tell you, this is really a big thrill, and what sports fishing is all about. Many sportsmen will return their catch to the sea as we are doing, and let someone else have a crack at it. Occasionally, a tarpon has to be revived before releasing him. A few are also brought back to port as a trophy or a great treat at the dinner table. Well, after all that excitement, time to unwind a bit. Get back to our KOA camp, go for a swim. Or just sit around and watch everyone else have a good time. And where else, I ask you, could you have a friendly group of pelicans for next-door neighbors? Do you know there are actually over 400 varieties of bird life in Florida and over 15 varieties of palm trees? Quite a place, that Fiesta Key, and we're sorry to leave it. But now we're heading for Key Largo and the John Pennekamp Coral Reef, where we hope to do some scuba diving and go looking for that Spanish galleon I told you about. Bill Crawford, a pal of mine and an expert underwater photographer who runs the dive shop at Key Largo, is the kind of man I like to have along on an expedition like this. He shoves our scuba boat into high gear and we head for deeper water. This is a diver's paradise, covering some 75 square miles. It's 21 miles long and extends 6 miles into the Atlantic Ocean. At this point, I felt more like Lloyd Bridges doing one of his sea hunt television shows. I really didn't know what to expect. It was exciting just to think about what we might find as we entered this strange and foreign underwater world. Even here, the fish have to eat. We're in deeper water now, where Bill thinks we might spot the remains of an old ship. Hey, what's that debris over there? Sure enough, it looks like it might be that Spanish galleon. Actually, there are many wrecks like these, lying at the bottom of the sea from one end of the Florida Keys to the other. You get to thinking, was this particular wreck one of those golden galleons supposedly filled with great treasures and other riches? More than likely, it was one of those freighters or trading vessels that carried goods from the West Indies all the way back to Spain. I'll tell you one thing for sure, it's still a rich and rewarding experience just to be able to go diving and looking for treasure. Even if you come up empty. Now, if you don't want to go through all this trouble, there's an easier way to explore the coral reefs at Pennekamp. A 2-hour excursion on board the Discovery. This is an extraordinary glass-bottom boat with an underwater observatory. Without getting a single hair wet, you can get a good close-up view of some 40 different kinds of coral, plus an array of tropical fish that live here in America's first undersea park.
If you're the type of person who enjoys any kind of water activities, above or below the surface, or just looking at it, this Florida holiday pretty obviously is the kind of RV experience just tailor-made for you. And, as Al Jolson used to say, you ain't seen nothing yet.
We've been moving at a fast clip on this holiday on wheels in southern Florida, RV style. Shark Valley is right in the heart of the Everglades country, with plenty of wildlife. You have to keep a sharp eye on where you're walking, or you might step on an alligator. Hooking a tarpon, I found out, is a lot different than tangling with a gator. And say, if you want an added thrill in this part of the country, try an airboat ride. The whole setup is kind of strange. You have an Indian pilot steering a boat that uses an airplane propeller located in the back rather than the front, which then pushes rather than pulls you along. Even more strange when you're traveling at speeds of 40 to 90 miles an hour, it's hard to know whether you're riding on grass or water. I'm telling you, it's a weird feeling. One minute it looks like you're on a highway of grass. The next minute, at the turn of the rudder, you're on water again. And even the plants seem to disappear right before your eyes. Finally, we enter Everglades National Park itself, right in the heart of alligator country. You know, I found out in my travels that a lot of times you go someplace, and because of certain publicity, you expect to see something, but you never do. But believe you me, come here, you'll see alligators, all right. They're swimming and crawling all over the place. When they spend too much time in the water, especially towards sundown, they like to crawl up on the bank, dry off, and visit a while. No thanks, I'll pass this time. See you later, alligator. Well, we gotta be rolling along from the eastern and central sections of South Florida over to the west coast on the Gulf of Mexico. Next stop, Naples. No, not the one in Italy. This is Naples, Florida. Maybe it's not as famous as the Italian port, but it does have a tremendous white sand beach, ideal for swimming, surfing, or soaking up that good old Florida sun. And this area is the shell capital of the world, where you can pick up some really beautiful specimens. One thing I noticed about southern Florida is that the campgrounds are usually lush and green. And built next to the water, like this Naples KOA. I like that. Lots of other people must obviously agree with me, because I understand those who do come here make their reservations months, even a year ahead of time. But for us, it's time to say arrivederci, Naples. We're heading north now, up along the Gulf Coast, through Fort Myers, towards St. Petersburg. The town, they tell me, was named by one of the original founders after the Russian city of the same name. Hey, how about that? A little bit of Hollywood right here in the harbor. The Bounty is one of the most famous ships ever to sail the seven seas. Shades of Clark Gable as Mr. Christian, the mutineer, and Charles Lawton as Captain Bligh come to mind when you roam these decks. This Bounty is an exact replica of the original and actually sailed 50,000 miles before finding her permanent home right here. And would you believe a place called Spongerama? Well, we found it right here at Tarpon Springs, just a few miles north of St. Pete's. These divers use an iron rake to harvest natural sponges right from the ocean floor. The whole operation really fascinated me. This is one of the last places in the Western Hemisphere where these men go diving for sponges, just like they did in the old country, back home in Greece. Most sponges today are made synthetically, but if you have a natural one at home, more than likely came from this section of the Gulf Coast. Breathing that fresh sea air and doing so many things really makes a guy hungry, especially for seafood. And here at St. Petersburg, they've got the answer. A good old-fashioned fish fry, right outside next to the water. And every day you can catch your own fish. Then, instead of going out to some fancy and expensive restaurant, you can have it prepared right here in the premises. Fresh crab, oysters, shrimp, whatever you have a craving for. Makes my mouth water just thinking about it. Oh, afterwards, there's still time for some miniature golf, shuffleboard, and the supreme joy of going fishing with your little boy. Or just a pleasant stroll around the campgrounds. The perfect way to end a perfect day. What a holiday on wheels this has been. From the Florida Keys right here to the botanical kingdom of Cypress Gardens. They call this America's tropical wonderland. Millions of people have come to Cypress Gardens since it opened in 1936. And along with my good friends Frank and Betty Cly, we're about to see why. Another old friend, Dick Pope Sr., and his family were primarily responsible for transforming all this natural beauty they originally found here into a modern-day fairy tale, where the ageless eyes of the cypress trees and the dangling Spanish moss still look down in silent appreciation. But it was Dick Pope's spectacular water show that made his place world famous.
Well, it got started on the basis of loving water sports. And, of course, we're in a country where we have so many lakes that it's just fun. We started about 45 years ago, and we made newsreels and things like that with the water skis when they came out. And, of course, we can do it all year, so we've got a great advantage. And it just became so popular. Even during the war, they started for the first time to have a ski show here at Cypress Gardens.
Here's a tough way to get a laugh. How about this? A human pyramid on water with an American flag on top. Remember the old carnival days? It's all right, step right up, folks, and see the show of a lifetime at Thrill a Minute. Yeah, that's what they used to say. And that's exactly the feeling I get watching this, a Thrill a Minute. It's like the ballet, an athletic hunt, and the circus all wrapped in one big package. If you're wondering how a water skier can turn into a human kite, take a look. When he takes off, he's at a level. He just pushes that bar forward, and he'll just rise, rise, and rise. Here's another character. Can you imagine skiing with no skis? Now, there's a real ham for you. He'll do anything to attract attention. There's that barefoot skier again. Actually, Dick tells me his son introduced this act in 1946. Barefoot skiing, plus the kite flying, originated at Cypress Gardens and have continued to be a part of every show. And I can understand why, too. Going forwards or backwards, it doesn't seem to make much difference to these guys or gals. That water is like a stage to them, and they love it. All right, wise guy. You got up there. Now, how are you going to get down without breaking a leg or something? Simple. Just like that. That was quite a showstopper. But the best way to top it I know of is to bring on the girls, the acclimates of Cypress Gardens. What a way to wind up a fantastic trip from the Florida Keys to this botanical kingdom.
All told, this holiday on wheels, which we've just shared together, covers about 400 miles with good paved roads all the way. You can see and do everything we did in 5 days or 5 weeks, and you might come up with some adventures of your own. When you travel RV style, you pick your own pace and you name your own place. That's the great advantage of RV living. Isn't that right, Art?
Yes, Gordon. Florida, with its miles of beaches, ideal weather, and so many great activities, is perfect for the RVer. And it's no wonder some 25 million visitors enjoy it each year.
Well, for more details on this and similar RV adventures you can take throughout the country and the world, check the various Trailer Life magazines. And, hey, don't forget to be a good Sammer on the highway. Till next time, this is Gordon MacRae wishing that all of you can catch a full load of happiness when you take your next holiday on wheels.
Rolling along, troubles are gone. Got peace of mind, I'm happy inside. Oh, holiday, how good it feels rolling on wheels. How good it feels rolling on wheels. How good it feels rolling on wheels, rolling on wheels.